I was involved in Mohammad al-Qahtani case in quite a surprising way. One day, his colleague, Abdulaziz, tweeted that he needs a lawyer because nobody wants to represent him, because everybody else is afraid of representing political figures and reformists. Al-Hamid called me and said, will it bother you to represent Mohammad al-Qahtani? I said, no, it will be my pleasure. So we met in a cafe in Riyadh and we take it from there. The case of Mohammad al-Qahtani and his colleague al-Hamid is one or the most famous case in Saudi history. I mean, the last 30, 40 years. He wants reform and he wants human rights to be respected in Saudi, and his message was out. And for him to be in prison, he understood the consequences, and he thinks that his prison is just part of the cost for reform in Saudi. Mohammad al-Qahtani was accused of causing disorder. What they meant is telling people that we need reform and telling people that we need human rights. So his case is based on his work, which helped a lot of the family for detainees to present some pleadings and to help them with court proceedings and to help them to know their rights. They asked for reform and that's what they got. He got 10 years in prison. It wasn't fair trial per se, in the way that the judge was influenced by different parties. So the case was, for al-Hamid al-Qahtani, was very important for the government. They don't want anyone to speak about the case. They don't want anyone to cover the case, and they are willing to go after the lawyers, after anybody else who are involved mainly in this case, because I think they saw it as this case and these two individuals as a sample of reforms, and they thought to prevent that they need to make everyone silent. Other governments in the world and other international organizations, I mean public international organizations such as United Nations Human Rights Council and others, are not doing enough in Saudi. Some of them are not doing anything in Saudi. We have to ask ourselves a question. Are we going for human rights or for money? Are we going for justice or oil? Sometimes we hear from European governments saying that we are using silent diplomacy because the Saudi, they are more effective in that. But then the question is, more effective in what? What's the result? There is no result of silent diplomacy. There is diplomacy has to be done with Saudi. It has to be public diplomacy. It has to be in a very transparent way, while the people hear that and understand what's going on between the two parties and see the result. Being afraid of losing your business interest, that is just double standard. In al-Qahtani case, the Dutch government could ask the Saudi government clearly that the acts of the Saudi government of putting these peaceful activists behind bars is unacceptable, and they could have some joint effort with Amnesty International and other human rights organizations for a group visit to Mohammad al-Qahtani in his prison, and also to his colleagues al-Hamid and others. If they choose to act for justice and human rights, there are some practical steps, such as issuing public statements asking for the release of all reformist and human rights activists in Saudi. So if any talk coming from international players, that will make more effect to them than being just locally. So because of that, it's really important.